Republicans, as Mara said, talking about where we could put them at a Navy brig yard in Charleston or elsewhere. I mean, there are at least discussions happening now.
But it doesn't solve the problem. If you accept the incitement idea, which I don't, it's nonsense. The worst attack on U.S. history happened in 2001. There were attacks in the 90s. There was no Gitmo. There was no war in Iraq. There were no drone attacks. There was nothing. We had a Clinton administration that went to work 3 times on behalf of Muslims. The incitement idea is nonsense, but let's accept it for the sake of argument. If they're incited by Gitmo, it isn't over the idea of the climate, that it's too hot in Cuba, because they would be incitement if you kept them in the United States as well. It's the core that Mara is speaking about. These are people we can never release and we can never have on trial because all the evidence is gone. And Obama spoke about this in the big speech he gave. He said, this is the legacy problem, and he essentially said, we'll work it out. He's had 4.5 years to work it out. The fact that he had nothing new to offer about it is indication that there is no answer. These people will always stay in custody until the day they die. The reason is that in war you capture combatants and you hold them until an armistice or a surrender. We are not going to have an armistice and surrender with Al-Qaeda, and it's not our doing. We would have it, but they won't. And they joined Al-Qaeda knowing that. So I have no sympathy for any of them if they stay all their lives in custody, as they will. But it doesn't solve Obama's problem. He admits it in the speech, and yet he makes a big deal about shutting Guantanamo. The indefinite detention will continue, whether it's in New York in a supermax or on a beach in Guantanamo.